Hey friends and family, welcome to Marcie Creates. This is Marcie and welcome. This is a delayed video from last weekend. I wanted to finish up working on the May palette before we jumped into June's, which I have posted over on the Facebook group. If you're not part of Marcie Creates Facebook group, we'd love to have you. I do post color palette challenges the first day of every month, so that we can be inspired and make things based on that palette. If you choose to participate, which I love to see what everybody's making, and it's just a very nice group over there of like-minded individuals that love to create jewelry. So anyway, I received an incredible gift from Beth Sullivan a week or so ago, might be a week and a half, but she made a whole bunch of beautiful pieces, which I'm going to show you in a minute, of polymer clay that's based on this color palette. So I'm going to have all her links in the description. She has a Facebook group as well. She sells her beautiful polymer clay pieces. She does grab bags. So do show her some love if you like what you see, and support her. She's an incredible artist, and I'm so grateful that she chooses to share her artistry with us, and also the fact that she made so many gorgeous pieces with this palette. So I'm looking forward to working with this. Now, last week I did a video, so you could see my tray is very full. So these are beads that I pulled for the palette challenge, and I just wanted to show you some things I'm working on and have worked on. So this is some silver silk, and I did a little peyote bail, and I haven't decided what I'm going to do. This is as far as I've gotten, so stay tuned for that. The video that I made, and I thought this coordinated nicely as well. I did do a video on a 2-strand bracelet. If you want, I will put the link in the description if you want to watch that. And then I made this last week, and this was the video that had no sound. So I took one of Beth's beautiful pieces, and I combined some of the bargain bead box for Mayflowers, and my own beads, and made this necklace. So I wanted you to see the piece. I did post that in the Facebook group just so everybody could see it. And I do have some other things created. This I have not finished. Oops. I have beading thread and stuff everywhere. But I started working on this piece. Whoops. Let me get my hands working. This piece by Beth, also coordinating with the theme, and I used bargain bead box and beads for my own stash. I don't have a clasp on this yet, so I'm just kind of holding it up right now. Hopefully I don't spill anything, but that's in the works. And then I started some earrings also. Bear with me. I did start some earrings, so I have, again, these are polymer clay pieces that Beth made that I mixed. Aren't those pretty? I have to make the mate. And then I loved these Monstera leaves that she made, and I used those charms. They were connected in the bargain bead box, but I added some pieces of that with Beth's design, because the May bargain bead box coordinated so nicely with our palette challenge. I love when that works out. So I do have some other pieces like these that I've pulled to make some longer earrings. I think that'll be really fun. Maybe we'll work on those on this video. I do want to do earrings today. And then the last thing I wanted to show you was this square stitch bracelet that I've started. This is a Jill Wiseman design that we learned on, I think it was one of the Jesse James Beads summer bead camps. And you just literally fill this all with beads. So I'm working on that. But again, these colors all coordinate nicely. So that's what's going on, what I've been working on. So I just wanted you to get an idea of what pieces I was making and how I was incorporating Beth's beautiful pieces. Now let me show you, if I can not spill a bunch of things, the gorgeousness and the bounty that came in my mailbox. My eyes about popped out of my head. Look at all this. She made all these pieces based on our color palette for May. Beth, thank you so much. I mean, these are just absolutely gorgeous. And I thought it'd be fun today to do an asymmetrical pair of earrings. And if I have time, maybe I will make another pair of earrings, just like a regular pair. So, because I do want to showcase this gorgeous polymer clay work. So I'm going to get a little bit more organized, and then we will take some of these pieces and make us some earrings. So stay tuned. Okay, all organized. And I did pick some pieces of Beth's that I loved. And I do want to do some asymmetrical earrings. I think they're so fun. And these polymer clay pieces lend themselves so nicely to that idea. If you don't know what an asymmetrical design is, basically each earring is going to be its own design, but they will coordinate. So how do you do that? Well, one way to unify them is with color, and we have our color palette here that is already pre-organized. And another way is to mimic shapes or use the same type of shapes in different orders. You can also use big pieces, little pieces, using the same color findings, for instance, will unify. And as you can see, there's a lot of gold in these pieces. So I am going to be using some gold findings today. Other ways, just you can visually balance them by, and I'll show you more about that, by the way that you orient the beads, so that there are some similarities within both designs and then there's some differences. So we'll go over all that when I start to make a few of the pieces. So I'm going to pick some pieces that I want to work with and make asymmetrical. And the thing that's nice about asymmetrical design too, as we all know, sometimes you run out of pairs of things. So if you just have one lone bead, like this is the last bead I have for this beautiful check glass. So it's a way to use an odd number or a one-off that you have in your stash that maybe you can't use in anything else. You can also use them in focals, of course, but I like saving one-offs for asymmetrical design because you can still use the bead. So let's see here. So we're going to, so I love these, but I want them as a pair. So I'm not going to do anything with those quite yet. I do absolutely love this shape. I definitely want to use that. Oh, and one thing I did want to point out too, in these pieces that Beth made, we have some of these crackle gold finishes. We also have matte finishes with texture. That's another way to play with texture in your asymmetrical designs. We also have things that are drilled so that they hang sideways or kind of at a diagonal. And this is also matte. And then we have very shiny pieces. So all of that can play into the asymmetrical look. So when I do this, when I start to make an asymmetrical design, I start with a few pieces that I think I want to work with. And so, like I said, I like that piece. And I feel like this mirrors what this shape is a little bit. So it would be fun to have those juxtapose each other, in each earring. And then, so this is going to have to be a drop because we only have a hole up here. But with this one, we can attach from up here or down here. I'm just going to visually look at this. So I think I like this orientation. You got a wide area here and a narrow area here. You have a wide area here and it narrows that way. So they kind of flip and mirror each other. So we're going to do that. And then I do want to use this check piece right here. And I would like to use a polymer piece of hers on this side. So we have some options here. I could go with a long piece, maybe down here. And then I could hang something, maybe one of these little flowers would be cute, or a leaf. Let's see what the leaf looks like. So I like that, but I don't want the greens next to each other. That's just me. Maybe we'll go with a texture. That's cool. Now I have this piece on this side. Maybe we'll mirror it with a corresponding piece on this side. And maybe we'll put a green piece. And they don't need to be exactly the same length, but you want to get them a little bit close, just so it balances on the ear. It's not necessary. I mean, if you don't like it, you don't have to do that. Maybe some pop of green up there. So that's kind of fun. And then you can fill in if you want to add maybe some bead caps. So maybe I'll do some lacy bead caps on either side of this check piece. I could do that. If I make a loop down here, I could still add a little charm, but I think maybe that's gilding the lily. So I think I'm just going to leave it the way it is. I do want to showcase Beth's pieces, so I think I do want... So now I'm looking at the finishes here. So we have some matte pieces. We have some shiny. I do want to add a little sparkle on this side. So maybe I'll add a tiny bit of sparkle there in the gold, or maybe it'd be better to put it right at the point of that leaf. I think I like that. And then I have some ear wires here. So let's connect these. So there's many different ways we can connect these. And I have some jump rings, so we'll use some jump rings. And we're also going to use some beading wire. And I think I'm going to use the 22 gauge gold wire. And then we can connect things with the jump rings as well. Or maybe we just make the loops really big where we connect. If you add jump rings, there will be more movement, which is fine. I like that. Let's just see how it goes. So the 22 gauge is pretty close to a head pin. I think most head pins are about 21 gauge, and you can certainly use head pins if you... I just like to have length so I can wrap, but you can certainly use longer head pins if that works better for you. So I'm just going to get started here. This is my 22 gauge piece. The other thing you want to pay attention to, especially with handmade pieces like what Beth sent me, is where the holes are, so that you know you're making a loop that's going to allow this to move. And the other thing I tested, and the reason why I used the 22 gauge, it fits really nicely in the holes. You still have room, so they're going to hang and move, which is... you want movement in earrings. So that's why I've chosen the 22 gauge. You can go up in gauge. It's up to you. If you don't want these to move a lot, then I would go maybe to a 20 or a 18 even gauge wire, but that's designer's choice. So let's get started. So I think I'm going to work on this earring right to the left first. Right to the left. Oh my. And then we'll I'm going to use my bail making pliers to make the hole. Now, this piece, I think I want a lot of clearance. I think that should do it. If it doesn't, then I'll get out a larger bail making plier. But I think this should work. So let's see. Let us see. So there's my nice loop. I like using the bail making pliers too because you get consistency in your loops. Let's add this really fun piece. The nice thing about polymer clay too with earrings is they're so lightweight. You know, a lot of people have trouble when earrings are heavy, and this certainly won't be the case with polymer clay pieces. So they're a great option for earrings. They're a great option for everything, of course, but for earrings especially. So I'm just wire wrapping this about 3 times. And I'm going to cut this in the back where you're not going to see the little burr that's created. And then let's push this down. These are going to be next to somebody's face, so you don't want anybody to get poked. All right. So adorable. You could also, and I was thinking, you could hang a little charm from here too. That would be cute. Just an option. Let's do some bead caps for this piece. This is such a pretty bead. Look at the striations in that. It's just the hint of lavender or kind of hot pink in there. Just love that. So let's see. Was talking bead caps. That'll be nice because we have bead caps over here, but we'll do different bead caps. So we've got a little differentiation. Boy, words are hard. All right, so now we need to make our loop for this piece. So I am going to use the bail making pliers again. And I'm just going to make a little 90-degree angle there. I'm going to use the large side again. We're going to be consistent with our loop, so we're always going to use this larger side on the bail making pliers. Just like that. Let's open our loop that we just made very gently. Just twist your pliers. I do love the textures on these. Now, one thing you have to think about is when you put this piece on, it's not textured on both sides. So you could see if I want the shiny side of the bottom piece to show and the texture, I've put this on the wrong way, but that's easy to fix. We're just going to go the other way. And now we're oriented the way we want. Just something to think about if you have something that's not two-sided. The other nice thing about the 22 gauge wire is I literally shut that with my thumb, which the higher gauges, or the lower gauges, the thicker the wire, the harder it is to maneuver with just your fingers. But the 22 gauge is nice for wrapping. It's nice for loop making, and it's easier on your hands. You see, I'm going to need to twist this a little. I want the loops to be perpendicular to each other. And we'll probably have to adjust that a little bit later, but let's get the rest of this made. Again, I'm just going to push down and get that piece that's sticking up more flush. Okay, so here's what we have so far. Really cute. Hold it up so you can see a better view. Isn't that pretty? I love these pieces, Beth. I know she'll be watching, so these are beautiful, Beth. Let me orient this a little better. Yeah. Just be gentle when you're adjusting your wire. You don't want to snap it. There we go. I like that. Okay, so now we're going to add our beautiful rondelle here and then our ear wire. So we need a little more wire. And you could get fancy up here. You could wrap your wire around that piece. You know, let your imagination run wild there. Okay. Just getting rid of that little pointy end. I seem to stab myself lately with needles, wire. It just doesn't seem to matter. I keep poking myself, so I'm trying to be a little more cautious about edges like that. Okay, so now we're going to make our last loop for connecting, and we'll make one more for adding the ear wire. So again, we're using the large side. Get that open. Attach our earring. You can close that with your thumb if you'd like with this gauge. All right. Just gonna push that down. Here's what we have. Let's add our beautiful rondelle. I love these rondelles. They're so pretty with this palette. Now, talking about orienting your wire, we are going to be using, if I can get these kissing cousins apart. There we go. So as you can see, it's a French wire with the ball at the end, and it's facing this way. So you want your loop to go this way so that your earring hangs right. So we're going to go to the side now. And I think also, at least for the top, we can use the smaller side of the bail making pliers because we don't need a lot of room to add that, and it might be a little distracting if it's really large. You try it and see what you like, but I like a smaller loop up there. So I'm using the smaller side. Just like that. We can go ahead and close that because the ear wire is open. And we're going to close that later. Oops. I do like using 22 gauge wire. It's just very easy to work with. All right, got to straighten that up a little. It's a little crooked, which is easy to do. You just put your pliers in there and give it a little twist, and now it's straighter. One more time. There we go. And then let's push down this piece that's sticking out. Okay, now let's add our ear wire. just like that. Here's the view to the side. You want to just wiggle this. There you go. Just like that. I love the French ear wires because they're real easy. How fun is that? So that's our one side. So let's get going on our other side. So for this piece down here, we're going to need a head pin because I need for it to not slide off. And do I have a ball head pin? I'm sure I do somewhere. Thought I was prepared, guys. This never fails. When you're making a video, you find out you don't have everything. If you all could see my bead room, it's an absolute nightmare. I think I need an intervention. Or I need one of those professional organizer folks to come in and help me. Any of you a professional organizer? Ah, ta-da! Whew, goodness. It's been quite a week at the day job, by the way. It's our year end, and I'm working a lot of hours and trying to get things settled so we can close the books, and it's been, every year it's a challenge. Okay, so I have a ball head pin here. Just going to add my bicone, my leaf, which I love the iridescence. Isn't that beautiful? I just love it. And then we're going to make a loop so that we can attach this beautiful piece by Beth. All right. Again, I'm going to use the large side of my bail making pliers so that the loops are consistent. Open this guy up. Now, these I am actually going to shut with some help because this gauge on my head pin feels, also it's different material probably. It's a little harder. So, you know, just use your tools as you need them. All right. Let me see how I like that. I like that. That works for me. So I'm going to cut this piece. Oh, I found a beadboard, by the way, that's white, which I like because I don't like for the colors to compete with my beadboard. So I was thrilled to find something like this. I mean, I have the other ones, but they're kind of yellowy. And I just don't think the colors read that great on a yellow or gray background. So new beading mat, just for you all, for your viewing pleasure. Okay, now right here, I'm going to use a jump ring. I just think it's going to connect better. So let's find a jump ring. I also want to find a jump ring that's kind of similar to the size loops I've been making. So let's see. This may do it. This may do it. Of course, if you have to go larger so that things move nicely, then you have to go larger. But let's just see. So this one's closer. This one's kind of big. Let's see if this one works. Because this is kind of thick. So you have to keep that clearance in mind. So let's just see what is going on. I am pulling beads, by the way, for the June palette for a video coming soon to your tablet, your phone, or your TV. So stay tuned for that. I pulled a bunch of beads yesterday for that. Okay. Big question and drum roll. Is this going to work? I think it's going to. Let's just see. Oop. This is actually a side of a toggle clasp. I don't know what happened to the bar, so that's why I'm using it. Yeah, that works nicely. All right. So now we just add our piece in our ear wire. So let me grab some more 22 gauge wire. Oh, yep. I need to not poke myself. That would be bad. I'm going to straighten this out just a little. All right. Time to make more loops. Again, the large side of my veil making. But when we do the earring part, we'll do the smaller one. Just like that. Trying to figure out how I want to do this. Again, use the tools you're comfortable with. They're an extension of your hands, so they become, part of you. If you're anything like me, you have certain tools that you favor, that feel good in your hands, and you go to time and time again. Isn't that interesting? And everybody's different. So, some tools feel better than others. All right. There we go. So let's add our really pretty check press glass bead here. Okay, so now, again, we need to go to the side with our loop. So it's like that. We're going to use the small side of our bail making. May have to adjust. We'll take a look in just a second and check that out. All right. Grab one of our ear wires. Nope, that's a little crooked. Let me fix that. Okay. I probably could straighten that up a little more. I'll do that off camera. You can always adjust. It's a nice thing about these French ear wires. It easily takes things on and off. Oop. Did I do that? Okay, look, I did that opposite of where I needed to do it. No problem. Like I said, these are easy to take on and off. You just move your piece. So I'm kind of glad that happened so I could show you how to fix it. For those of you who are new, don't panic. So here are our asymmetrical earrings. Hang on, I'm going to grab something. Crash. Crash. I love this little tray. I found this on Amazon years ago. Check those out. Aren't those fun? So asymmetrical. So let's talk a little bit about it. So we used Beth's pieces and we mirrored some pieces. We mirrored shapes, these oval shapes. This shape and this shape are similar, but you have one that's pointing down and one that's pointing up. We've added sparkle to a few places, and we have a comprehensive color palette, mainly focused in this piece, but all the other pieces echo. So this is a great way to do things to think about when you're doing an asymmetrical earring design. And I think these would be very cute on. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. Please like and subscribe if you haven't. I'd love to have you. Check out Marcie Creates Facebook group. We have so much fun over there. There's lots of things to talk about. And do check out Beth's beautiful, beautiful pieces on her Facebook group. I will have all her links in the description. She is a frequent contributor over at Marcie Creates as well. So show her some love. And thank you so much for joining me today. Stay tuned for more videos now that I've got a microphone that works. And just have a great weekend. Be safe. Take care of your sweet selves and your families. And I will see you on the next video.